Hi guys, I'm here today to talk to you about Bagua, and I'm going to try to look over some of the myths behind why people don't practice it, meaning why Tai Chi people don't practice it, or why people choose Tai Chi over Bagua in the beginning of their training. Now at the end of the day, ultimately, whether you choose Bagua or Taiji for your main practice, totally up to you. They're both brilliant martial healing systems. Okay, you can't really call one better than the other. They are simply a little different. Certain ones have pros and cons in either side, you see. So there are certain benefits of Tai Chi, might not be quite as good in Bagua, certain things in Bagua which are not quite as good in Taiji. This is why I like to practice both. After I give you a little bit of a talk about the principles of Bagua and why we should be practicing it, I'm going to actually teach you the first two palm changes of the Bagua form. But I'm going to teach it to you from a you already know Tai Chi perspective. Okay, so I'm not going to teach you Bagua from complete scratch for a total novice to everything. I'm going to teach it in a sense where I'm assuming that you already know the Taiji form. And I mean, any Taiji form I suppose will do, but I'm more so aiming this towards my own system students, so WTBA students who have practiced either Yang Ching Fu's form or Yang Lu Chan's form, predominantly Yang Lu Chan's form. So I'm going to teach you through the Bagua form and show you that it's really not that different than your Yang Lu Chan's form. It's not more difficult, and it certainly doesn't put more pressure on your body if you have problems with your body. So I'm going to get onto that later on. But first of all, just let me explain a few of the reasons people often give as to why they don't do Bagua. Okay, reason one, they don't have enough time. I want to focus on my Tai Chi because I don't have time to do both. Okay, that could be true if you only practice Yang Lu Chan's form, for example. But most people who do Tai Chi, they might do 5 or 6 different forms within their Tai Chi. The weapons forms, the partner forms, the solo forms, and so on. The fast forms, the slow forms. So you're already doing a whole bunch of different forms. If you practice, for example, Yang Lu Chan's form and small sansao, and then you want to add to your repertoire the Pao Chui form, or the stick form, or the sword form, or any of the other extra forms, it would be just as easy for you to add the Bagua circular form to your training. The reason people think that it's somehow more difficult to add the circular form as opposed to another Tai Chi form is because they see it, well, it's 2 different systems, isn't it? It's Bagua and it's Tai Chi. Well, yes, on the one hand, they are 2 different systems, but I would probably say something like 90% of the principles you know in Taiji overflow into Bagua. There's probably about 10% of difference. But keeping in mind that if you learn, for example, a stick form, there's going to be different principles in your stick form as well, because you've got to wield the stick. So you're still going to have to learn new stuff when you learn the stick form. With your Bagua form, if learnt correctly and if explained correctly from a point of view, like I'm about to do in this class, from a point of view where look at this move and compare it to your Tai Chi so that you can see the similarities, it could almost be called just another Tai Chi form. Yes, it's different, but there's a lot more similarities than there are differences, is what I'm saying. So you can very easily learn Yang Lu Chan's form and small sansao, and then instead of learning the stick form, you could learn the Bagua form. Or you could learn one of the Bagua weapons forms. So all the Taiji and Bagua forms, at least from the system that I teach, of the Earl Montague style of the Taiji and the Bagua, they're all interlocking. You can have one system as your main system, or the other system as your main system, or do both full systems, or a bit of this and a bit of that, or Tai Chi is the main thing and then do one Bagua form, or all the Bagua forms and do one Taiji form. But you'll find if you have a good grounding in either or, The Bagua people, then they try the Tai Chi form, they'll go, oh yeah, that makes sense, I can do that. And the Taiji people, if you know your Taiji correctly and you're actually performing the movements correctly, and you then go on to the Bagua form, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's just like my holding the baby Qigong. Here, that's waist turning principles, sinking to one leg, twisting the spine. It's all the same stuff as what we do in our Taiji form. Again, with maybe 10% of difference. So think of it like that. You could practice just the first third of your Yang Lu Chan's form and the Bagua circular form. That would take less time and effort than learning the whole Yang Lu Chan's form, for example. But as I say, at the end of the day, it's your choice. Whatever you like to practice is what you like to practice. If you find that the Tai Chi movement resonates better with you, by all means, do that. I just don't want anyone to be negating Bagua for the wrong reasons, because of ideas you have in your head which are actually incorrect. Okay, the second one is people think that Bagua is more difficult than Taiji. It's not. It's simply not. Just stop thinking that. It is not more difficult than Taiji. The reason people think it is more difficult than Taiji is because they're simply not doing their Taiji correctly. Okay, let me explain. The Taiji form, okay, I can do the Taiji form like this. That's easy. Yeah, that's nice and easy. That's much easier than doing that. But that's only because the Tai Chi I was doing was rubbish. I wasn't applying any principles of the Taiji form. So, the reason it seems different is because the principles that make Tai Chi work are subtle. They're very, very subtle, so it's easy to not do them. Whereas the principles that make Bagua work and make it actually do something for your body, they're a little bit more obvious. So in a sense, it's actually easier to practice Bagua and get something from it. I don't just mean go through the form. In that case, the Tai Chi is probably easier. But as far as actually getting some real benefit from one of those forms, I would actually say that the Bagua form is easier to get the benefits. Because with the Taiji form, okay, lift your hands up and push them down. Okay, well, if you just tell someone to lift your hands up and push them down, nothing happens. You've got to go, okay, what we've got to do is we've got to focus on getting exactly the timing of the shoulder in here. We've got to sink, we've got to tuck the pelvis. I'm not going to go over all the details now, but there's a whole bunch of different things you have to do to make this posture actually feel something, to make it work. And then when we get onto, say, for example, the steps, same thing. I've got to really think, okay, I can just go like this. That's what most people do. They just step. Nothing happens. But then you say, okay, no. You've got to hold your hips here, maintain that pelvis tuck, don't lean over, blah, 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 blah. All these different things that we have to adhere to. Now, when I do the Taiji form, oh yeah, now I can feel something happening. Now when I take the next step, oh yeah, I can feel my core engaging now. I can feel work happening. I can feel my body getting something from the form. But see, the postures in Taiji, it's much easier to do them wrong. The postures in the Bagua, because at least at the beginning when you first learn, because they're a little bit more accentuated in the turns and the twists that happen, you can't really not do it, you see? Whereas in the Tai Chi, you can not do it. So easy just to go and nothing happens compared to, oh, all right, yep, oh, that's nice. Whereas in the Bagua form, you're told, okay, pick your foot off the ground, you have to hold it off the ground. Oh yeah, Now, even if you're making some mistakes, you're going to get something. You go, oh, getting a bit of balance from it. Oh, that's hard, I've got to balance now. Because you're not just stepping. Now, technically, your Taiji form should be done in the same way, with that slow step without putting the foot down. But because it's go from here, to a next spot, it means that you won't do it. Most beginners, they'll be lazy and they won't do it. Whereas this posture, You have to slip your foot forward into this position. We don't tell you to put the foot down because it's not a step, it's a kick. Now we tell you, turn the foot and now place the foot down. So it's forcing you. You can't get that wrong, you see. You can't go, oh, no, I wasn't supposed, you know you weren't supposed to put the foot down. Whereas the first Taiji form step, I know I'm supposed to take this step and put the foot down. So therefore, subconsciously, I'll take the easy route and I'll take it like that, where I've plonked weight into it, instead of taking it like that and then placing the foot. So you see, the Bagua form seems more difficult because you're actually doing it correctly. Whereas in the Taiji form, the only reason it seems easier is because you're not actually applying any of the Taiji principles within it. Okay, the next one is, people think that the Bagua form places more pressure on your body. So people who already have problems with their body, such as, usually they talk about knee problems and back problems. Oh, it's too spiraling, it's too twisting, my body can't handle it, is what I often hear. Well, that's a load of garbage as well. Let's have a look at the first move. Let's look at the first principles, okay? That's no different than anything in Taiji. That's no different than anything in Taiji, the stance I'm in now. That's no different than anything in Taiji. No different than Taiji. No different than Taiji. There are no postures in the Bagua form which put more pressure on your knees. Lovely Malta and their burnouts. There are no postures in the Bagua form that put more pressure on your knees than the Taiji form. It's a fact. It does not put more pressure on your knees. It could in certain postures only if you're doing them wrong, again. So in your Taiji form, possibly because you're doing the Taiji form slowly, you're more aware of your joints. So if it buckles, oh, hang on, I've got to fix that up, you see. Whereas most people straight up learn the Bagua form and they do it fast. They try to do it at that pace. If you try to do it fast like that for the first time you've ever done it, yes, you're going to put pressure on your knees. But same principle as I was saying before, you won't put more pressure on your knees than, say, the Pao Chui form, or the Taiji stick form, or any of the Tai Chi fast forms. The only reason Bagua could put more pressure on your knees is because most people try to do it fast. But if you do the Bagua form slowly, just like you would the Taiji form, there's no logical reason why there should be more pressure. Look, that stance we're in there, how is that any different to that stance there in your Taiji form? It's the same, basically, it's the same stance, the same angle on your feet, the same weight distribution, the same sinking, everything's the same. Even the waist, okay? A lot of people say, oh, the next area is the back. People, oh, I can't twist because Bagua twists the spine too much. Yeah, what about Tai Chi? There's me twisting the spine. Hips are here. Upper body's over here. There's postures all throughout. Look here, again, twist. Stork spreads wings, twist. Fan through, spreading the weave. Twist. Twist. The Taiji form is full of upper and lower reverse action twisting stretches. It's full of them. But again, you don't notice because you're doing it slowly. So you do the stretch in the Taiji form, you do it slowly, therefore you only go to where it's comfortable for you, so you don't pull a muscle. You then do the Bagua form, oh, Bagua is supposed to be done fast. And then you put your back out, you see? Because you've gone into it too quickly for your own level of fitness. But do it slowly like you would the Taiji form, and you work within your own limits when you do the postures. So there is no reason, whether the knees, twisting on the spine, anything, there is nothing in the Bagua form that puts more pressure than your Taiji form. And then the last one, I mean there's others, but these are just the main ones. The last one is that I mean, I've already said it. I prefer Tai Chi because I prefer the slow movements. Well, no, Bagua can very well be done slowly. It should be done slowly. It should definitely be learnt slowly when you first do it. A lot of people, because they can see the martial application a little bit more obviously than in the Taiji form, because they can see that martial application, they sometimes want to go a little faster. But you can do, quite often, as some of you will have been noticing in the morning classes when I've been doing my Bagua form, you can do the whole Bagua form as a super slow moving Qigong, just like you would your Taiji form. When you do your Bagua like that, you get that same slow Qigong meditation side of your Bagua happening. Now, a lot of people don't do that because they practice both. So they get their slow meditation when they do their Taiji form. So they don't want to do the same thing again when they do their Bagua. So naturally, they do their Bagua with a bit more vigor, you see. But if Bagua is the only thing you practice, if that's your choice, I do it sometimes very, very slow, like a Taiji form, other times faster, other times fully explosively, or a bit of both within one round of doing the Bagua form. Now, I don't want this to come across as in any way knocking Taiji Chuan. It's a brilliant, brilliant art. My personal preference of late has been more towards the Bagua, but that's just my own personal preference. But one thing that is interesting to note, I find anyway, Taiji versus Bagua. In your Taiji, there's one principle, one foundation principle that is the groundwork for the whole form, that for me kind of places a restriction on your movement, and that is to keep the spine vertical. So all the Taiji form, as you know, if you practice Taiji form, it's all with the vertical spine. You see? Through the whole form. You never see this kind of move or this kind. You'll never see leaning forward or leaning backwards or leaning to the sides. Which means, on the one hand, I think you could maybe say that by staying in more of a neutral zone with your back, it's possibly a little easier to get into a meditation state. Okay, so purely from using the form as a meditation purpose, not as a physical exercise or a martial exercise, but purely on that one realm of meditation exercise, then it might be a little easier to get that sensation in your body because the movement is almost the same thing. It's more repetitive, you could say. The hands might be changing shape, but ultimately the body, like when we get into the grasping swallow's tail, for example, the legs are just going back and forth. They're doing the same thing over and over again. The arms are, the hands are changing shape, but ultimately the body is turning, the body's staying straight. So everything's basically staying, and then we get a little twist there, but it's a little more same, apart from the hand changes. So it could be argued that it's a little easier, not better, but just a little easier for the very first time you do it to get into that Qigong feeling. And I say that because the best way to get into a Qigong feeling is to do one movement. Just something very simple like this, for example. The more different changes you do in whatever postures, the more difficult it is to maintain that Qigong flow, the internal flow. So you could maybe say from an internal point of view, you might get it a little bit quicker doing your Taiji form. But then on the opposite end of the scale, your Bagua form will give you much better physical body strengthening and stretching compared to the Taiji form. Because in the Bagua form, we do lean forward, we do lean backwards, we do lean to the side. So when I lean to the side, I'm getting this nice stretch, I'm working my core through here. I lean backwards, and I'm working my core in here and stretching my spine. I arch my back in certain postures. So again, I'm doing these kind of movements. Compressing in and opening out. Not that exact movement, but that idea of opening and closing the spine we do in the Bagua form. We don't do it in the Taiji form. Or we do, but like only on that level, only on a very, very subtle internal level, not on a physical level. So I always find that if I'm only practicing my Taiji form, do the whole form, but I kind of still feel, oh, okay, I'm going to add, oh, that's nice, yep. I'll add some extra stretches into the form. I'll do some of these. I want to add those to my, to the end of my practice, because I feel like my spine hasn't really done anything. It's been standing around the whole time. It hasn't moved. It hasn't reached its full range of motion. Even the arms, the shoulders and the legs and everything, well, no, maybe not so much the legs. The legs in the Taiji form, they get a pretty good full range of motion. But the shoulders and the arms in the Bagua form will have these movements like this, where you really stretch. You feel that stretch coming down through the body by pushing the chest forward, pulling the shoulder back and so on. And you see that a lot in the Bagua form. In the Taiji form, though, you might get it every now and again. Okay, single whip, you could say, yeah, you're opening the shoulder a little bit here. But apart from, out of 300 moves, you might have a handful of moves which actually do that. 90% of the movements are all sort of here in front of the body. You're never stretching the physical elements of your body. So again, I don't want that to sound like I'm knocking Tai Chi and saying Bagua's better. They're just different. One focuses on a certain element, the other focuses on a certain element. I just don't want people to, like I said before, negate Bagua because you think these things that aren't actually true. And I personally love Bagua. I prefer it to as far as the form is concerned anyway. I would say I prefer the Bagua form to the Yang Lu Chan's form. And I would love to be able to do it more at more workshops. I'll always teach the Taiji form as well because so many of my students practice it, so I'll always keep that in my own training so that I'm able to teach it. But I would like to encourage more people to do the Bagua because it's just such a brilliant, brilliant exercise. Okay, I'm going to now teach you the first 2 palm changes of the Bagua form. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every single nitty-gritty principle. If you do want to see that, I have for free on my website, I think up until palm change number 3, taught in minute detail exactly how you should be doing it from a Bagua perspective. And that's teaching it from scratch, like as if you've never done anything. So I go over every possible detail you could ever need. Right now, I'm going to go through the first 2 palm changes, but I'm going to mainly try to show you the similarities between your Taiji form and this Bagua form, so that you can then go through it and go, oh yeah, okay, that's similar to this move or similar to that move. So you can see those similarities. But then I'll also point out to you those movements where we might be, for example, arching the back or compressing the back or compressing the front, so that then you can also see, oh yeah, that's right, we don't get that in our Tai Chi form. So this is something extra that we're getting from the Bagua. Oh, and keep in mind, just before we start, the Bagua form, as far as if you want to do just one form, if you want to do 2 forms, then you get more full body workout. But if you only ever want to do one form, one set of training exercises, you don't want to have to do extra stretches or extra qigong. I just want to do one form in the morning and that's it. Well, then I would have to recommend the Bagua form, because the Taiji form, the first third of the Taiji form takes about the same length of time as doing the whole Bagua circular form. The circular form has less repeats in it for starters, so you don't repeat the movements so often, therefore it's a little bit shorter. Yeah, so if you're only going to choose one form to practice, the Bagua circular form is definitely, without doubt, more well-rounded. It does more things to your body. It works your body in more variation. The Taiji form, the legs get plenty of workout. That's fine, no problem with the lower body in Taiji. But the upper body as I said before, simply because of that straight spine thing, you're pretty much always more or less doing the same thing. There's these little compressions and so on that happen through the body, but they're just little internal power squeezes. They're not physically moving the body. So it's really like your body's staying in the same position for every strike that you do, relatively, while your arms go around. Yeah, your arms are doing lots of other things, but your body's not really doing that much different. So it's a little bit same through the whole form. The Bagua form, however, you'll find your body's doing this, then it's doing this, then it's doing this. It's moving around a whole lot more. So definitely as a physical exercise, it's far superior. As an internal exercise, I would say it's equal to Tai Chi, but possibly takes a little bit longer to get that internal stuff happening compared to the Taiji. Okay, let's get into the form now. I'm going to show you the form. Okay, so begin just like your just exactly the same as if you're starting your Taiji form. All the same principles. The only difference is your heels are together so your feet are turned out. That's the only difference compared to your Taiji form. Okay, from here, you're simply going to scoop both your hands, turn your waist to the right, and then turn your waist to the left and push both your palms forward into your holding the baby Qigong, just like from your one-legged standing Qigong positions. So you simply turn to the right and then back to the left. Scoop and out. As you do that, you just slip that foot forward, totally empty, standing on one leg. When you turn here from the upper body, you're turning from the waist, not the pelvis. Because of where your feet are, you can't turn the pelvis or you'll buckle your knee, you see? So you've got to keep the knees out, over your toes, turn from your waist, and thrust the fingers forward to hold the baby. So there's nothing different there than what you've already practiced in your Taiji. Absolutely no difference. The hands go a little bit yin, then they go a little bit yang, and then they go a little bit yin on the end. The posture itself, like I say, is just like holding the baby in your Taiji Qigong. Okay, from here, you're going to do a circular movement. Oh, you'll notice here I'm not worrying about the circle. Usually Bagua would be done on a circle, your center of your circle, this kind of thing. I'm not even worrying about that for now because I'm not going to go into pedantic detail. I just want to give you a feel for it. I'm also not going to focus on the walking either because that's a little bit different than the Tai Chi stuff. I'm going to focus purely on the form movements, even though the walking is, of course, very important. So from here, we're going to do a circle. Again, we're going to turn the body, turn the waist out to the left. And now place your foot down and just throw both hands as your weight comes forward out to the side, you see? That movement there is very much the same as Fisher's in 8. See, the hands are in a slightly different shape, but see here the left hand is a little down, whereas in the Tai Chi they're both at the same level, but the movement of the waist turning and flowing the hands is the same. So from here, turn your waist to the left, do a little bit of a circle out, turn the foot, you see? Hands go yang. Slowly bring the weight forward, just like a Taiji cat step, and hook your foot around and just place it like that, flat on the ground. Your feet are slightly turned in. Don't do it to 90 degrees like this, you'll hurt your knees if you do that. Just turn your feet slightly in, so a little bit pigeon-toed. The weight stays in the right leg. Okay, so at this point I'm about 90% in the right leg. There's a little bit of weight in the left, but I'm still over my right leg. Notice that the left hand from here, they're both pushing out, then the left hand folds so it comes underneath the elbow of the right arm. So your palms are like this, folded. I'll just turn slightly side on now so that you can see the movements. I don't want to have my back to the camera when I do it. So just as that palm gets to there, the foot's placing down on the ground. Wow. As soon as it gets there, once that foot touches the ground, watch what the right hand does. See? So you're focusing on one hand, then the other. I'm teaching this in a very basic level, remember. So, circle both the hands out. So they're moving together here. Both hands moving together. Both hands moving together. Now, put the intent on your left hand, because it's the one going to do the movement. You see? Left hand moves. One with the foot. Once the foot hits the ground, then the left hand stays where it is and the right hand moves. So we get 1, 2. See how what the right hand's doing? It's scooping, like so. From that position, just scoop it under until the fingers are facing back the same direction. 1, 2. You see? So, over. Foot touches the ground, scoop the hand. The body keeps going with the posture, you see? So I turn my upper body again, so it's more the waist turning, not the hips from down here, not the pelvis. It's the waist turning, again, like fishes in 8, when we do that extra twist out to the side, because we're moving from the upper body in the Tai Chi form. So from here, as I do the scoop, I continue my body turning. So I turn to the right and just turn as far as is comfortable. You should be feeling a good squeeze through here, but not so much that you're going to pull a muscle. So again, it depends on your own level of fitness. If you're already very fit and strong, then squeeze your body right over. But if you feel like you might pull a muscle or something, then just, that's fine. Just a little turn, you see? That's perfectly enough. But that's in time with that scoop. So I'm turning my body, you see? Now when the palm is now palm over palm, I then lift the hands up, back into hold the baby. You see, I'm back to, I haven't moved the feet, but I'm back to the hold the baby Qigong on the reverse side. So we go scoop the hand to the right. Now look, just hold the baby. Now this is going to continue into the next move, but that's basically the shape that we get into. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Okay, now I'll give you now here. No, I'll give you that next actually. So let's just twist. Hold the baby as I'm turning back to the left. I'm holding the baby, and then I just continue to turn my body, maintaining that hold the baby position, maintaining the feet where they are, and simply turn your body as far as it can. I'm not going to give you a direction to face. I'm simply going to tell you twist as far as is comfortable for you, so you don't put your back out. So we squeeze down here, squeeze to the right rather, like a twisting action. Slowly scoop that hand, hold the baby up. So the palm is in front of, like at head height, the left hand is at head height. Turn your body just as far as it will go. You see? I mean, I can go much further, but let's say you just turn to there. Just twist your body to where it wants before you start feeling any adverse pressure anywhere that's going to give you a problem. You don't want to feel pressure in the knee, you don't want to feel pressure too much in the lower back. So just to there. Then to go further, you let the foot go, you see? And that will bring you down into the final position. So you're in the hold the baby position on the lifting part of the movement, you see? And the twisting part. But see, my pelvis still hasn't turned. I've turned from the upper body. Now I'm going to relax the hands down into this shape as I relax the foot. See, that by relaxing the foot, that allows my body to turn further without putting stress on the body. So it looks like this. Nice flowing action. See? I haven't done anything different than anything in the Tai Chi form on that first section. Be cautious of your right knee, same as in any Tai Chi form, don't let it buckle. Open that knee out so you hold it strong. Sink all the weight into the back foot, tuck your pelvis under, vertical spine. Now there's very much Tai Chi principles here. Vertical spine, chin tucked in, all of that stuff you do in your Tai Chi form, we're doing now. There's still a little bit of a twist from the upper body. on this movement. So again, the pelvis is about here, the upper body's a little further. So there's still that small twist from upper to lower, just like we do in stork spreads wings, for example. There's a small twist, or especially these postures. There's an upper body twist compared to the lower body. Now, to add a little Bagua in there, here's where we get a small difference compared to the Taiji. So all of that I've shown you is nothing different than the Taiji principles. Now we're going to add something a little different. I'll do it this way for you. So this is all the same. But now, when I do the scoop of the right hand and twist my body out to the right, I'm also going to drop my left shoulder. And then come in to hold the baby. So now I'm back to where I was, you see? So I'm simply compressing forward, but because I'm turning also, it means that this shoulder will dip a bit. It's not just both shoulders, it's a little bit of a twist into the movement. You see, so instead of just going like this and turning from one side, just again, however is comfortable for you, don't overdo it for the first time. Drop that left shoulder in, you see. Now you've got a leaning, compressing movement. So you're stretching your lower back, you're compressing your core down through here, digging that hand under. And now you've got to use your back muscles to lift yourself back into posture. So you're getting more of an activation of the back muscles compared to any of the Taiji postures. So little squeeze down. Now you come back up to neutral, but now we go the opposite way. So instead of just turning as far as you can, you also lean back. But when you first do it for the first time, just do it to where it's comfortable. Keep your belly strong because you're going to lean back. You've got to engage here so you're not putting pressure on your lower spine. You're not compressing the lower spine when you do it. See how now I'm just slightly leaning backwards. Staying strong here, staying tucked in the pelvis, but I'm leaning back, spiraling the spine. And then when I release this foot, now I'm back to where I was. I'm back to that vertical spine again. So the whole first section is all Taiji. Taiji principles. Now we get a little something different. We get a compression in, an open out, and then a neutralize. So compress in, open out, and neutralize. Okay, let's try the next section. And obviously you can rewind this and go over it as much as you want, but I'll just go on to the next section. So as I said, I'm not going to do the walking. So from that position, traditionally you would walk the circle once as a Qigong. That's a really nice Qigong to do the walking. But I'll just go straight into the other side now. Assume we've walked the circle. And even as a practice, you don't have to walk the circle. It's better to do it, but you can just come to there. Now we go straight into the other side, you see? Okay, so first section, same thing. Nothing different than Taiji to begin with. Oh, something I should probably note. When I said earlier that the Taiji principles are more subtle, as in the things that make it work, the things that make it difficult are subtle, whereas they're a little more obvious in the Bagua. With the Bagua, you still have all of those really subtle things like in the Taiji to enhance the form. But on the base level, you have more obvious, what am I doing Tai Chi for? You have more obvious twists and stretches that happen, so it's a little easier to get into it in the beginning. Whereas just like Taiji, at a later stage, once you've learnt the core, the rough framework of the movement, then just like Taiji, yes, you will engage all these little tiny subtle things to really bring out the internal movement of your Bagua. So in that sense, it's equal to Taiji. It's only on that when you take just the outer shell of the movements, the Bagua still works to a degree with just the outer shell, whereas the Taiji doesn't work with just the outer shell. Okay, right, so let's give you the next section. Very similar again, just open your palms. Sorry, just basically your hands are like that, both at the same height. You've got that little twist on, again, so you're twisting your upper body a little bit. Bring your weight forward and drop your right palm. Take a step, and place your foot again slightly turned in, not parallel, just a little bit turned in, not too much though, because you don't want to put pressure on your knees. So just a small turn in, place the foot, a little bit of weight on that foot. Now as I continue turning my body, I'm going to do just like Yang Ching Fu's form. Look. See, look, I could go here and go into my Yang Ching Fu's form, you see? Apart from the feet position, it's the same movement. So I'm coming in for my hinge block, place the foot, continue moving, and there's my hinge block. Now, the only difference, small difference, is the hands do come together in the Bagua form. In the Taiji form, they stay apart. In the Taiji application, though, they come together, like in the small Sansao. So it's all still the same stuff. But in the Bagua, we just bring it to there. Just very lightly touch the palms. Now, we do a circle with the palms around and through. Okay, very, very simple. The weight is already on the right leg, about 60% or so. I'm now going to do if you watch me from here, actually I'll do it from here for you. So from here, that's just warm, that's pretty simple. Now watch this hand. That's the circle it's going to take, around, not that big, but that's the way it's going to go. From there, this is all Taiji, look. Turn from the waist again, not so much the hips, but turn from the waist. Turn out to the right, scooping this hand. And then turn to the left, let your left foot relax so it turns, and strike with the right palm. The left palm is just sitting over top of the elbow. See, so that's just a simple downward palm strike with a bit of a spiral on it, other hand sitting there. All Taiji principles, Taiji structure in the body when we hold that stance, nothing different. I'll do it side on for you so you can see the flow. Now we finish off exactly the same as what we've already done, so I'll just briefly go through that. You do a nice circle again out to the right. Circle it back. See, this is the same like we did before. Nice big sweeping action with both palms. Step in, bring the right hand under the elbow, just like we did earlier. Then when the foot touches the ground, the left hand this time will scoop. Again, you get that twisting spiral down, so the right shoulder will now drop. And same thing, hold the baby, a little bit of a lean back, engage your core, feel that stretch in the spine, and then release the foot and relax it down. Okay, and so there, see, there's the center. We're still on the circle, and there's the center back to where we started. We then do exactly that same set of movements on the reverse side. So I'll just do it with a little bit of flow this time. I come around. So that's the first palm change. Okay, let's have a look at the second palm change. Let's see how many similarities there are there compared to the Taiji form. We start off exactly the same. No need to go over that. Exactly the same movements. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to turn the foot out, sink the weight forward, cat step, just like your Taiji form. Place the heel completely empty. That's a classical Taiji step. Nothing different than your normal Taiji step, stepping into a bow stance. Exactly the same as in your Taiji form. The palm movements are very, very simple. From here, you simply turn your body to the left with the body, with the movement. Left hand just slips off the elbow. Right hand is reaching forward. Step through, slowly, steadily. Place the heel. As you come forward, you simply pull with the right hand and push with the left hand. You see, I could be in a Taiji stance here. The body posturing, the body principles are the same. The only difference is the arm movements. Yeah, okay, that shape of the arm is not in the Taiji form, but it's similar to. You know, that could be Fair Lady works the shuttles, you see, it's just that this hand's turned towards you. Very, very similar stuff there. All the principles here of tucking the pelvis, 70% forward, hips to the front, all of that stuff is the same like in your Taiji form. Okay, from here, we simply lengthen our stance to the rear just a little bit. Just slide the foot back, you see? Nothing special. And we usually don't do this one as a totally slow step like this, because you're already 70-30. It's a little bit of a dropping step. You just, like that. Doesn't mean you go, boom. It's not a plonking thing. It's not a heavy thing. It just watch the movement. It's like, you see? So there is a little bit, I do put weight down into the ball of that foot as soon as that ball touches the ground. So I basically, in order for me to step slowly, I would have to obviously bring my weight forward, wouldn't I? Because my center of gravity is not fully forward. So I don't do that. I go from here, I do just a tiny bit forward to slow down the movement, but just that much. See that? Put the toe down and soften into the movement. I'm still at about 70% forward, but I've lengthened my stance. So I've got the hips slightly open now. They're not closed anymore. They're a little bit open now. The feet are still in a slight angle, but they're a little bit closer to parallel. And one other thing to note when you do step back, I'll just face this way. If here's where I started, watch this foot when I slide it back. See how it's gone narrower? It hasn't gone back on the same line, you see? It's gone a little bit of a sweep. It's gone around like that. That makes sense when you do it on the circle because you're actually following the circle, the circumference of the circle. But don't worry about that, just do a little bit of a sweep with that leg. So we're here, sweep the leg, or see, just like that. Nice and soft, a little bit more weight goes here just in order to slip the foot back. Place the toe and sink down so you're back into both heels now. The hand movement's very simple. The right hand, which is here in front of your face, just drop it down and sit it on top of your hip there, right in on top of your hip bone, right? You actually relax the arm so it pushes into your hip, not into your hip, into above your hip, the soft bit above your hip. Now, traditionally, this should be done so that you twist so much that the elbow, knee and toe are in a line. But for a stark beginner, I don't tell them too much about that because otherwise you can put your body into too much pressure. So don't worry about that for now. Just step back and just get that on, you see? See, now my elbow's not in alignment with my toe. It's a little bit out to the right. That's perfectly fine though. Nothing wrong there. I can enhance that later by twisting the spine more, but don't worry about that for now. The other hand, which was here, literally just slaps backwards. It goes a little bit yin to load and then slaps out to a yang strike. So the fingers are pointing roughly into the back of the knee here, like so. And you'll notice how the pelvis, if I face this way, see this? See how the hips are turning this way, so my pelvis is still facing to sort of roughly where that rear foot is facing, like so. But the upper body is twisting this way. So this is again where we get an extra stretch compared to our Taiji forms. So we're stretching through here and twisting the body, rather than trying to reach with the shoulder, you see, I'm twisting the body like that. And that will bring the fingers into a line here. You actually stretch that hand out, so you should be feeling a nice stretch through here, through the arm. And then the final part to Bagua-ify it, compared to, this is how I'd probably do it if it was a Tai Chi move, but because it's a Bagua move, you do push your chest slightly forward, you see? You actually, what you do is, you try to look at this hand in the Bagua. But I can look at the hand like this, but what you have to do is you have to try to look at the hand over the back of your shoulder. So I can just see my thumb peripherally, just down there. So I'm looking over my shoulder to see my thumb. Which by doing that, you tend to arch backwards, you see? That's giving me that opening stretch for the movement. So we get this posture. Instead of getting the traditional Taiji posture where we're always sunk in the chest, the Bagua still applies that principle of sinking in the chest, but occasionally it opens it up and then relaxes it. It doesn't sit in that one state all the time. So that's what we're doing there. Looking over the back of that shoulder, getting a nice stretch through the shoulder here, big stretch through here, pushing the chest out, so you're engaging those upper back muscles, waking them up. Okay, we come out of that one. You simply, this is something we've done in many Taiji forms, maybe not the, I don't know if it's in the Yang Lu Chan form, but it's definitely in some of the other faster forms. You're just going to squeeze your feet together. So swivel on the right heel, so that weighted heel, and pull the left foot in. You see, so it's on the ball of the foot, that front foot. So you're down low, you simply stand up, squeeze your feet together, and pull your body in like so. Then we do the old slap step. If you've done Tai Chi, you've done slap stepping, right? Like so. One of those. So I'm not going to teach you that because I'm assuming you've done good Tai Chi to start with. As you do that, you simply leave the right hand where it is, do nothing with that, and do a circular movement with the left hand as you pull up. So we get 1 through the circle. You see? Watch what the hand does. Circle with, see how the fingers are going like around the clock, around a dinner plate type of thing, like that. Around and boom, through the middle with a poke. Okay, so we get, and obviously the poke comes with the slap. So that's, yeah, that's just the same as any of those slap steps that we've done in Yang Lu Chan's form. Okay, now to finish off, so we're now back to doing, once we've come up at it, well, as we come up rather, we're back to Taiji principles as far as how the body is held. The slap step itself, Taiji principles, nothing different there. We're going to carry on now, back to slow movements. So we did that posture relatively slowly, sunk into the stretch. Use a little bit of momentum to get up there. It's not super, super slow, just a little up. Little momentum. The slap step will have a little butt to it, but like Yang Lu Chan's form, there's the Fa Jing movements. There are those faster movements. You see, but still, it doesn't have to be like really explosive. Just a light slap. Just. Now we're back to slow movements again. Sweep this right palm around, just like, almost like this one that we did in the first palm change. Very, very similar. Just leave your left hand where it is. Turn your foot out. Swing this hand around, step in, and close your body, like so. Okay? So the only real difference here to the other postures we did is that both palms are up this time. They're not down like this. They're both up, and the palm here is not under the elbow, it's past the elbow. Just a little detail. It doesn't really matter for this level of form, but just give you a little bit of detail there. So swing it around, slow. All of this is Taiji principles. I'm not squeezing, not opening, not doing any of those specific Bagua things yet. All just like your Taiji. Cat stepping, hook the foot around, place it flat on the ground. Again, twist from the spine, just like in Taiji. Now we do something a little different than Taiji. We're going to lean over. So first of all, we just turn the body and lengthen, again, sort of like a hold the baby type of position there. So just 1. But as you do that, you actually lean into it. You see? So I'm not staying completely straight like this. I'm leaning into it. So I should be feeling a bit of a stretch and an activation through here. And I've put the weight into the right leg. Now you can do this next movement as big or small as you like to get a bigger stretch. I'm going to do it at a slightly more, a smaller level so that it's a little bit less extreme. Not such a big change from your Taiji forms. So, turn. Now when you reach sort of in line with the 90-degree angle of your body to here, so there's the front, there's the 90-degree. Once you reach that point roughly, see how I'm lent into it here, like so? So I'm feeling the stretch here. I'm going to leave my palm where it is, but twist my body. See that? And then stand up. So I dive into it a little bit. I swing, I turn from the hips down here, you see, which lengthens the hand up. It starts to lift. The left hand just follows the body, follows the center. But see now, because I'm turning, obviously now I'm leaning backwards. So I was leaning sideways. I simply turn the body. Now I'm engaging here and I'm leaning backwards. So we get 1, 2, and now stand upright and do pung. This is called holding the moon in your breast in the Bagua form, but it is pung. It is the same shape as pung, apart from the fact that your weight's on the back leg. Then we do again, total repeat. Turn the body out. Scoop and drop exactly like we did in the first palm change. And relax. I'll just show you that second palm change now on the reverse side with a little bit of flow. So we get 1, Okay, so I hope that gives you a nice little sort of realistic feedback as to whether you want to practice Bagua or not. You still might not want to. Maybe you just think, nah, I just don't like it. I prefer Tai Chi, and that's fine. I personally prefer Bagua. You personally prefer Tai Chi. Nothing wrong with that at all. You know, it's just a personal preference, really. As I say, one is not better than the other. But yeah, I hope that at least gives you now an understanding of you're making the right choice. If you do choose to only practice Taiji, you're making that choice for the right reasons. You're not doing it because you've heard these myths about Bagua, that it's more difficult or more strenuous or, you know, this or that. Yeah, so I just hope that gives you a good round understanding of what Bagua is. And as I say, if you want more information on the Bagua, it's like the first 6 lessons. I do all the Bagua Qigongs, the standing Qigong. I do the walking, all the details of the walking, and the first 3 palm changes in much more detail than I gave there, because I'm teaching it from scratch, showing you all the pedantic little movements throughout. Yeah, so up until the 3rd palm change, and that's all for free on my website. So you can study that and look into it and see if you might like to actually learn the Bagua form. Yeah, and if you've got any questions, please comment, ask your questions. I'll do my best to answer. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Good stuff, guys.